Kelvin wakes up in an unknown town, and with the aid of a menu he finds out he's been reincarnated and has lost all of his memories. The menu introduces herself as Melfina, the goddess of reincarnation, and she is his follower. She instructs him to go to Parth and register as an adventurer. And on their way, she tells him he died due to God's mistake, and she reincarnated him. Upon arriving at the Adventure Guild, he meets Angie, the attendant, and fills out his form. He attempts to write his position as a summoner, but Melfina discourages him, and he registers under Green Maid, and he gets his card under Class F. He picks a mission to kill 3 blue slimes. He finds them on the city's outskirts and struggles with them because he doesn't want to use magic. He eventually tames the slime and makes her his follower. He names the slime Clotho based on Melfina's suggestion. He notices Clotho's strength, and Melfina tells him he is one of the strongest summoners, giving his follower strength. After his duty, he takes his payment and visits an inn recommended by Angie. On his way to the inn, he sees an elf locked inside a cage, waiting to be sold as an enslaved person. He looks at her in comparison but decides to continue his journey. He visits the Fairy Song Inn where he meets Claire, the owner. Claire asks him to rest in the room while she prepares him a meal. As she finishes the preparation, Kelvin comes out to eat. Episode 2. After a successful quest, he gets promoted to rank E. He later requests a rank D quest, but Angie says he can't pull the quest without a team. Coincidentally, an experienced adventurer asks him to take a quest to kill the Black Ghost. The adventurer, Cashel, is a rank C adventurer and says he needs a team for the mission, and he wants Kelvin in his team. Upon using his appraisal skills to see Cashel's strength, he comments that he makes the murderer a title. He doesn't want to join, but Cashel stands on his neck, so he challenges Cashel's team, claiming the first person to kill the knight will win the challenge. Upon leaving Kelvin, Cashel goes to his teammates Gimul and Raj. They leave for the location and they see some ghosts that have been defeated. Realizing they have to fight Kelvin if they win the competition, they go for him. But with the help of Clotho, who is now a giant slime, he finds out Cashel has been hunting new adventurers, and he defeats Cashel. After defeating Cashel, he goes for the Black Ghost Knight and asks the knight to be his follower. The knight insists they fight, and during the fight he gets to know the knight is Gerard, and he is from a peaceful village until an elf named Gildora visits the village and asks them to unite together. When the king refused the proposal, their town was attacked. He lost his family and he wants revenge. Kelvin defeats him, and he becomes Kelvin's follower. Kelvin returns to the guild and finds out Cashel has been imprisoned. On his way home, he receives a visitor. Episode 3. Upon arriving at the guild the next day, he meets the guild leader, Leo, who asks if he is from another world. He finds out Leo's appraisal skills are huge and he can't lie. Leo appreciates him for conquering Cashel and tells him he thinks the Demon Lord is coming, which explains why the monsters have been so strong lately. He asks for Kelvin's help in fighting the rank B monster, and in return he will promote him to rank B, and he will protect him from nobles. Kelvin accepts the offer, however he figures he needs a team. He goes to buy a half-elf slave, and sees a cursed slave who burns anyone that touches her. He buys the lady, Aelif, and he breaks her curse. His landlord helps him dress her up and makes her pick her skills before they sleep, uncomfortably on the bed together. Episode 4. It's about a month since Aelif joins his team, and she has become a good archer. Also, she makes friends with Angie, and when a prince attempts to attack them, Kelvin saves them. Melfina goes to speak with her knights, and upon returning, she says Kelvin has grown considerably compared to her knights. Aelif also tells Kelvin she is in love with him, but he thinks he will take advantage of her if he accepts, so he rejects her. Leo calls Kelvin to kill a demon, Victor. Upon getting there, he meets the daughter of the former demon lord, who has been cursed. Victor aspires to take human power to heal the girl Sarah, then eats Sarah so she can become the demon lord. Upon hearing this, Kelvin begins to laugh. Episode 5. With the teamwork of Kelvin's team, they defeat Victor. Before dying, Victor reveals he never intended to eat Sarah, as she had been his childhood companion since he was working for her father. He begs Kelvin to make Sarah his party member and protect her, which Kelvin decides to do. He returns to the guild with Sarah and conceals her devilish signs. Leo promotes him to level A, and his friends celebrate. During the celebration, he sees Sarah mourning, and he speaks to her. She tells him Victor has been her only friend, and now she will experience life from Victor's lens and see where he has promised to take her. Episode 6. He makes Sarah an armor, and he feels a craving for rice. He decides to travel to the water city of Toraj so Sarah can see the sea and he can get rice. On their way, some kidnappers attack them. Sarah defeats them and Kelvin interrogates them. They confess that they are the Blackwing members, and although a hero has defeated the team, the hero, Kristoff, only takes over to continue their work. He gets to Toraj and he meets the guild master. He senses the kidnappers' hideout and asks the guild masters to send the heroes. He gets there before the heroes, saves the slaves, and kills the leader, Christopher. When the heroes arrive, they mistake him and his party for the Blackwing members. Episode 7. He pretends to be the enemy and challenges them to fight, claiming the lost party will obey the winning party's command. He reveals his new skills of taking people's skills, and he fights against the heroes. During the fight, he teaches them to be united, but he eventually defeats them. When they awake, they see him with the slaves and realize he is an adventurer. They apologize for fighting him, but he tells them he only wants them to be better. That's why he fought them. As for his command, he tells them to remove his clothes. Episode 8. He takes them to the ocean to compete against the octopus, but he rightly figures they are too weak to even win against the demon lord. The Queen of Toraj summons him to appreciate him for defeating the Black Wind, and she asks him whatever he wants. He asks her for rice, and she offers him a lifetime supply. She also helps him teach Elif how to cook better food. She asks him to work with her, but he refuses and returns to Parth. At Parth, they buy a new house, and he hires 2 slaves he saved as maids. Melfina arrives. She has gotten her human body, and she appears human. He comments that she is his type. Episode 9. Melfina introduces herself in her human body to the other followers, giving Kelvin a gift, the grace of resurrection, which allows him to bring a person from another world. He feels bad about using the skills as it will look like a kidnap. Melfina advises that he calls someone who has died. He reincarnates a young girl, Rion, who hugs him immediately. They both faint from exhaustion after the summoning, and later they talk. She tells him she is terminally sick and he has given her a second chance, and she will ensure she serves him. Since she has black hair just like him, he calls her his half-sister and renames her Rion. Episode 10. He takes a wolf for Rion as a pet. He makes her level up quickly without fighting battles as he helps her out of the skills. They also meet some adventurers preparing for a rank B promotional examination. The adventurers attempt to kill the monsters at the dungeon for their examination, but Kelvin's party has killed them. Upon returning home, Leo puts Kelvin in for a rank S promotional examination. That night they are attacked by adventurers who want to revenge Kristoff's death. He sends Rion to them and she defeats them, but he takes their leader away. On the other hand, at Tryson, Kristoff's city, the emperor is angry about their country's name, and that some countries are planning to wage wars against them. They vote as to whether they should wage war first, but have equal votes. The last person, General Cliff, who should break the equal votes, is however meeting a young adventurer naked. Episode 11. Tryson starts attacking the city of Gon, and Leo asks Kelvin to go there for his promotional examination. He meets the Lord, who mistakes Elif for his daughter, and he says his daughter was kidnapped by dragons and forced to be his wife. They found her body. Later, Kelvin assumes Elif would be his grandchild. They proceed to Tryson's quarters and fight several enemies. Upon arriving there, their head invokes a rank S monster which Rion defeats. Later, Cliff arrives and almost kills Elif. Episode 12. Kelvin figures Cliff is a reincarnation of the hypnosis skill that allows him to hypnosis anyone at will. During the fight, Cliff and Kelvin use the best of their skills to ensure they win the battle, and after Kelvin invokes his rank S Black Disaster, he cuts off Cliff's legs. Before killing Cliff, another general from his Tryson arrives and takes Cliff. The general tells Kelvin he has won them and teleports back, but Kelvin isn't satisfied. They return to Guan and Elif is given a gift which belongs to her supposed mother. As the party attempts to return to the city, they find a representative from the guild who tells them they have passed the examination, and a coronation party will be held where Kelvin will fight with some other rank S adventurers. While he is excited about the fight, his party mates are tired of fighting. Thanks for watching our video. If you want us to recap the next season, let us know in the comments section.